What's up, guys? This is my Mac 9 DS Comp that I have done some things myself, put all new parts in it, gutted it, put EGW and extreme engineering parts in to make this thing really liven up and be a great gun. If you come across this, I'm sure you're like me, you're looking for a budget 2011. These guns are awesome. There's a reason they're so popular now. I mean, I've never shot a gun this smooth. I mean, they're awesome platform. So to get into a platform at this cost, you can't beat it. So originally I was going to buy the Springfield Prodigy. I was going to go with a 5-inch comp because they're about $1,400. And luckily at my gun range, you can rent guns. So I rented that, and I rented a Staccato XC and wanted to compare them. I wanted to see what the difference was, why there was a $3,000 difference in two different guns with the same platform. Staccato XC was way nicer, had less recoil. The balance on those is great. Really an awesome gun. But to tell me it's $3,000 more than a Prodigy, I don't see it, you know. But also it is an amazing gun. I'm not trying to dog it. It's just a lot of money. So I was going to buy the Prodigy, and then these guys just started to hit the market. I bought this back in April. Very hard to find. I was on gun websites every day trying to find one that was in stock and trying to grab it. And I finally got one. I was going to go, it was either this or the Gerson Match X. But at the time, my gun shop had gotten about 4 of them, and they had to send 2 back for feeding issues. But I know those guns had a lot of issues with the first batch of them that came out, and I know everybody seems to love the new ones out that came out. You know, it's a clone of a Staccato XC. How could you not? You know, for about $1,100-$1,200. So I'm sure that's also a good route that if you want to do all these same things too, you would be happy with that. So we'll go off what you can see. Combat Textiles hand grip for $20, made it look cooler, kind of like a denim feel. It fits nice. My girlfriend really likes the feel of it. I had a Talon grip on this before, the sandpaper grip, and I like that better. It's just more aggressive. It grabs onto my calluses, and I can just hold it without a problem. Hands get wet, hands get sweaty, runs easy. I got the TLR1 flashlight, great for a counterbalance on the end of this gun, but also this is my nightstand gun, so nothing like a bright flashlight to have in the middle of the night. We got the 407C Hollow Sun, the green dot version. I don't know if we get that pick up. Yep. So then I put the optic guard on it to protect it, and their glare guard really helps from this thing getting super dirty and super gross. Also, you get a shell that shoots out, doesn't hit your glass. It's a nice thing to have. Sent this out a little while ago. Got 4 ports on the top of it. Nice little countersink look to it. It's real slick. TDS Gunworks out of Wyoming. He's a guy that does everything himself out of his own machine shop. I've just learned over the years that when you go to somebody that does it themselves, all by themselves, you just get better quality. You get a better price. He's a super nice guy, super cool dude. You can find him on Facebook. I mean, he's just done some awesome slide serrations and cuts, and I mean, he's done some cool stuff out there. I'm going to send this back in the winter to him and have him just make it super cool and do a coating on it, and we'll go from there. Obviously, I'll do a video when that comes back up. So that's all the stuff you can see. We'll go with the hammer since you can see it. That is Extreme Engineering Lite Speed 2 hammer. Also went with the Extreme Engineering low mass sear. And then I have the Extreme Engineering extended strut. So the extended strut, I mean, you can barely tell, but it's enough that makes this hit harder, faster. Everything's lightened, so everything goes way smoother. On the inside, we have an extended firing pin from EGW, and then I have their stronger spring also in that to just no light primer strikes. That way I know this thing fires every time and I don't have any issues. We have the Atlas trigger. This is the long trigger, flat. And then with the bow, I took the bow, I hit it with some light sandpaper, and I mirror polished it, just making sure there were no burrs on it. Everything's in there smooth, runs back and forth, nothing gets hung up. If you buy one of these, you're going to learn real fast this optic mount. What it comes with, the mount itself is nice, but it comes with these screws that are these tiny little Allen head screws. You will strip them out before you ever get it tight enough to make a difference. I think I got 200 rounds out of this thing before this thing was so sloppy. I was afraid my optic was going to fall off. But I found a guy on eBay, and his name on eBay is XControls. He sells screws for this. They're torque heads, they're hardened steel, $12. Well worth the money. Definitely do it. Do it as soon as you buy the gun. Just do it, because you're going to have to do it anyways. From there, might as well, we'll talk about the sear spring. So I got an EGW sear spring. I bought 2 of them. Basically, use the first one to just play around with and try to figure it out. Atlas Gunworks has a great video on YouTube of how to really set the sear spring up to get a real nice trigger pull, real nice crisp break. So I used that first one to really just kind of figure out what did what and what was too far and what wasn't far enough. Because if you go too light, the hammer is going to follow with the slide, and it's not going to do what you want it to do. So with the second spring, I got it to where I wanted it. I also mirror polished all the ends that touch anything on the sear spring itself. So I ended up with about a 3-pound trigger. This feels good to me. I'm not a professional, so I'm sure if a professional got it down to 2 for me, I'm sure I would enjoy it, but I really like where this is at. I can do really good double taps. I can mag dump it very easily. Runs great. So bought this cheap little guy on Amazon. I think it was like 12 bucks. It's a spring loaded, and we will show you. We got about a pound to take up, and then brakes right about 3 pounds. So sometimes a little under 3 pounds, a little bit over, but pretty consistent on how it breaks every time. So smooth as butter every time. 17-pound mainspring back here, and then I will open it up and we'll talk about what we got going on. Before I open it up, so mirror polished a lot of this. I'll show you. I mirror polished my ramp. I mirror polished the inside of the chamber. I'll do this off camera because I don't know what's illegal on YouTube, so I don't want to find out the hard way. So, okay. So I went through and I took 2000 wet sandpaper, used gun oil, removed all the coatings off these rails. I also did that to the feed ramp, and I did that to the actual feed ramp here. And go from there. I went to a mirror polish. When you do this, make sure you're not taking metal off. Make sure you're only taking the coating off. You start taking metal off, slide's gonna get sloppy on there. You're gonna be real upset that you ruined a $1,000 gun. So take it slow, do it right, take your time. I spent hours and hours and hours on this. I know it doesn't look like much, but once you get into it, you'll understand what I'm saying. It took some time, but I wanted to do it right and I didn't want to ruin it. So I went from a paste metal polish, and then I went from that to a liquid metal polish. So mirror polish all these surfaces. Everything runs real smooth, a little bit of oil. It runs great. Did the same here. Runs great. I will say while I have it open, and I remember this is an EGW ball head extended disconnector. Runs real smooth also. When I redid this, the sear and the disconnector, I had to modify my safety. So just know you're gonna have to do that. There are videos out there that'll show you how to do that. Basically, you'll see what you're hitting. Take this out, run a file, 1 or 2 passes max, try to fit it. Once you start getting to a point, use a black marker on the end of this and you'll see where it's hitting, and just keep doing that. Don't go too far, or you're gonna have a safety that doesn't work. So a pass or two with a metal file. Just take your time with all this stuff. I mean, nobody wants to ruin, you know, parts on your gun. So from there, we got the 7-pound ISMI spring from EGW. I have EGW's buffer pad. I mean, I've put a lot of rounds through this thing, and it does not look that abused. I've put at least 6,000 to 7,000 rounds through it at this point, and I expected that to be way more beat up than what it is, and that's still the original one I stuck in it a long time ago. So, looks great. So, I guess with everything here, besides the porting, I don't want to throw his prices out there. I don't, you know, that's for him. You call him, you ask him from TDS Gunworks what the prices are. So with just the parts here, I got about 320 bucks. I mean, that's including this grip. So guns $1,000, parts 320 bucks. You're coming in at like $1,400 with tax and all that fun stuff for a really awesome gun. I'd put this up against the Staccato XC, you know, obviously a stock version, not one that's been done up, but you know, for the amount of money you have in this, it's awesome. Like, I've never shot a Watchtower, I've never shot an Atlas, you know what I mean? So I can't compare those high-end guns to this, but for the amount of money I have in this thing, I'm gonna start shooting competitively with it. It's really awesome. So 1,400 bucks, you can't beat it. Magazine wise, I picked up this 20-round Prodigy mag from Gun Mag Warehouse. I had to Dremel the edges to let it fit the mag well. I will say probably the first 5 times I've had this loaded fully and put it in, it was tight, but it's loosened up since then, and I have no issues with it. This is the main mag I use every time, the mag I keep it loaded with at all times. Yeah, so I'm going to put a video at the end, just me shooting it at the gun range. It's just for me from the side, just so you can see the recoil factor on this thing. I mean, it's nothing. I mean, my follow-up shots are awesome. If anything, I'm driving down too much because it's so smooth. It's not like any other gun I have. So I'm going to do these videos on the rest of my handguns. If you're interested, you know, it's not like I'm going to put out a ton of content, but they'll be here and there. Next one will be my TTI Combat from Mechanic. A lot of people hated on that gun. I kind of get it. I mean, it looks awesome. I will say the compensator on it is like worthless. So I sent that out to the same guy who did the work on this. He opened up the comp on the end. He threw some ports in it. And that gun shoots like it should have shot from the beginning. But I'll go over that in my next video, and I'll go over all my other guns. Everything I have is modified. Everything's got trigger jobs. Everything's compensated. I've just pretty much built all my guns to what makes me happy with them. They shoot great for me, and I'm just all about follow-up shots. I'm all about double taps. I feel like the faster you can shoot a target, the better it is for you at the end of the day. So I'll post that video on here, and I appreciate it. You got any questions, just ask in the comments. I'll put a whole parts list on this, under this. I may not do it right away, but I'll get to it. It's a good amount of crap. I also run 124 Blazer in this. Never had an issue. I've always run 124 grain in all my comp guns. I have more issues with 115 and everything, so I just went to 124, and I've had no issues with any of my guns, to be honest with you, especially this one. So that's it, guys. Thank you.